So first, I just want to thank you for being here today. I'm going to ask you just a few questions. Just try to answer them as honestly as you can and no pressure.
But of course.
Who are you and how do you take care of yourself?
Well, my name is Mikah Abdul-Raheem. I take care of myself by maintaining a balance between my work ethic and my play ethic. Also those around me, right? My wife, my child. That allows me to remain in my good spirits.
Wow, that's where we start?
That's where you start.
Who am I? Like literally who am I, or
however you want to answer.
the things that make up who I am, like the cells and the blood vessels, and I don't know what you're talking about.
I am Masood Abdul-Raheem, and I take care of myself by removing myself from unhealthy situations and putting myself into situations that allow me to be my most healthy and authentic self.
Yeah, so my name is Bryan. I'm a teacher, a father. I think I'm just somebody who is trying to figure things out as they go along. Hopefully come across as not being particularly judgmental about things. Just again, it's just trying to figure it out as things happen. I realize sometimes that it is better for me to just go away from a situation so it can be quieter.
My name is Dale Cheadle, and how do I take care of myself? Very well, I think. Just getting up every day, going to work, supporting my family, loving my family. I do take care of myself. But my high is helping other people. You know, I am a coach, so I coach little kids. I've been doing that for like 20 years. I give back. That's something I love to do.
I don't know what you mean by that. I guess I take care of myself by trying to be as mentally strong as I can, try to deal with my problems in life, in relationship, head on. Also, just hygiene. Like hygiene is what I think of whenever I think of taking care of myself. I like to use expensive lotions, nice hair products, that sort of thing as far as taking care of myself.
How do you define manhood and how well do you live up to that definition?
That's a good question. Okay. Yeah, I gotta get comfortable.
I think I would use the term grown up rather than manhood. I don't know. Because I don't know that I really think about, I really am not trying to avoid the question so much as I don't know if I think about it that way.
I define manhood, by,
I think there's a point in your life where you need to be grown up. And I think being grown up means that you recognize there are lots of other people in the world who may or may not do things the way that you do them. I think that all the other kinds of things that people often associate with being a man, things like strength and resilience and providing, all that kind of business, all that kind of stuff, actually is more about, are you able to be grown up? Are you able to be yourself and recognize that there are others at the same time and figure out how to be at peace with all of that? I don't know.
That is a great question. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me start over. Jeez, I give you so much props right now. You don't even know, I give you so much props because I'm really conceited when it comes to speaking, right? Especially about things that okay.
I define manhood by how comfortable you're able to make women and children feel in your presence. Being able to advocate for what's right and the ability to stop something that's wrong when you see it. I'm a work in progress like anyone else, so I'm constantly evaluating my actions in certain situations, and I just try to get better each time.
I am thinking really hard about manhood, right? Because there's a lot of things I don't want to say, right? I don't want to be offensive about or anything like that, right?
But the point is not, like, it's just your honest opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really want you to worry about being politically correct.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that's kind of like.
You don't have to be politically correct. I'm not here. I know we argue all the time. Mm-hmm. I'm not here to argue with you. Like, I'm literally just,
you know what? I think I'm literally like, yo, can I say? Like, I didn't even want to say a man. I didn't even want to. You know what I'm saying? Can I say a man?
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm just whatever you want.
That was crazy.
Let me give you that freedom.
That was crazy. I was just like, okay.
It's kind of different for me because I was pretty much raised by my mom. She did that herself. So I have uncles and everything. So I have a lot of intuition from the women's side, and from the man's side. So I just roll it together. It's so wide open to me, manhood. Taking care of your family, being there when they call on you.
How would you rate yourself?
Strong 8. Strong 8.
I define manhood as being the best version of yourself that you can. I don't think that being a man means that you have to be strong, that you have to put on sort of a front of being tough. I think that being a man is just being yourself and being the best version of that you can, trying to do what feels right for you in your life.
Is something that you grow into, learning and moving through life and gaining the experiences to be able to take care or to handle things that are going to come across to you, specifically being a man. Whatever your role evolves into, you being able to handle your station and accurately execute what you need to accomplish. Being present, right? And being, not necessarily decisive, more focused. I want to say that I'm doing okay.
What attributes about being a husband did you learn from your father?
Watching my father interact with my mother, it's about listening to what it is that she's saying or noticing what she's doing, lending a hand when things are complicated or difficult. It's not about trying to be in charge of things. It's about trying to find some way to make things work together.
My father, I was grateful to grow up in a household where there was no abuse. There was no physical or verbal abuse. The idea of harming a woman who I was supposed to be protecting and providing, that idea wasn't planted in my head. I also learned some things from the opposite side, watching my father struggle with maintaining his relationship because he wasn't able to provide enough, inspired me to want to be able to provide those things in my relationship.
I learned what not to do when being a husband from my father. My father was not the best husband in the world, I'll say that. He's a great dad, I do love him, but he made a lot of mistakes in his marriage to my mother. And so my grandfather was actually a very good husband. He loved my grandma. They've been together since 1963. I would say it was a mixture of patience and also just a willingness to work with somebody. That's what you have to do in a marriage, I believe, is you have to work with somebody through the good and the bad. And to talk with him about that and talk to my grandma, that's how I learned what I wanted to do as far as becoming the best husband I could be and have a marriage that lasts for my entire life. That's the goal.
I didn't learn a lot from my dad because he wasn't around. Mike, my stepfather, he was a nice guy, disciplined, he was military. Didn't see arguments, people argue in front of the kids, didn't see none of that.
What I learned about being a husband from my father, duty, fulfillment, responsibility, accountability to make it work, to make it happen. There's no such thing as getting tired. Waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, going to work for 12 hours, coming home and your wife doesn't exist. Whatever you're going to do in life is going to take everything that you have. Right? Because you never stop being a husband. You're a husband whether you're around your wife or you're not around your wife. So,
fill in the blank. My wife needs more what from me?
Time.
You said that really fast.
That's what she said when I left out of the house today. She said, okay, as you go out there and talk about being a good husband, right, just realize that you are passing up on opportunity to spend time with me.
She needs, I guess, more understanding from me. And understanding is not quite the right word because that suggests you're going to know. It is a lot about giving space and being more receptivity.
My wife needs more listening from me.
Could you say more about that?
My wife needs more emotional support from me. I think it has a lot to do with society, growing up and learning that, men don't need to be emotional. We have to be emotional to be there for our wives and for people in our lives that love us.
I think one of the mistakes that a lot of young husbands or young men in general, as it pertains to women, is they think that women need a solution, because that's how we are. Men, we're like problem, solution. Women aren't always necessarily problem, solution oriented. Sometimes it's just venting. Sometimes it's just, you are a safe space for me, so let me get this out. Being able to decipher, when it's time to just listen and when it's time to respond with solutions.
Spontaneousness. I think I am, but she says I'm not. So she'll know more than me, so I need to be more spontaneous. Oh, yeah, well, you have to pay attention. That's your wife, that's your partner, that's your soulmate. And if you don't pay attention, then will be in last place.
Tell me a time when you feel you failed as a husband, and how did you recover?
I'm thinking my eyes about to start watering in this, right?
Why?
Yeah. There was a long period of time where I just stopped paying attention. Life had got me to the point where, maybe I was depressed or just hyper focused on surviving. My wife became more of a coworker. Work, save. I treated her more like someone I needed to get things done that I wasn't available to do. I was going through so much stress, and in doing that, I totally overlooked her. We recovered simply by me starting to pay attention.
A really big defining moment in our lives together happened when we lived in Chicago. Jennifer went through a couple of miscarriages in a row. I don't think I understood everything. I mean, well, first of all, I couldn't understand everything that she was feeling, but I don't think that I listened carefully enough to what was happening and how really devastating it was for her. It led to a period of some distancing. It's an experience that involves grieving, and grieving takes forever. It's something that you may not ever really kind of finish off. So I think there's still times where I don't know that we've ever really gotten past it necessarily or recovered from it. I think we've found ways to recognize it, not have it be a part of how we react to each other now, but it's still difficult.
I think in the moment, I have felt like I failed, but it was more so ego. I don't think I've really failed as a husband per se, but there's been times where men have insulted my wife. She and I are both kind of in public figure type roles, and my natural inclination is to go and put hands on people or confront, be confrontational. She helped me understand that in those situations, if I were to do that, then that person automatically wins. So in the moment, I felt lesser than, or I felt like, I was being weak, or I felt like I wasn't standing up for her the way that she needed. In the long run, we've had a sustained period of what I consider to be success locally and nationally. And had I reacted the way that I wanted to, that may not have been the case.
I don't know if I've failed. I feel like failures, that's a tough. I don't feel like I've ever failed as a husband, but I think that there's been times where maybe I've let my wife down by not being there emotionally. Maybe it's ego, I'm not sure, but I don't feel like I've ever failed as a husband.
And you're out infidelities and stuff, so that's a sense of failure. And to come back forward, just to be positive on that and be true and come back strong and hope that you're able to get that forgiveness, because it's hard to get back once you lose it. Where I fail at, she rise me up, make me better and everything, and vice versa. That's what we do as a team, and we understand that.
What is the one thing you wish your wife knew about you, but may not fully understand?
How much I love her. She thinks she knows, but she really doesn't know.
She's so in tune. She's so in tune that I can't think of something that she doesn't know about me. I guess sometimes whenever maybe there's conflict or something like that and I'm not the best at resolving it, I wish that she knew that I was trying the best way that I know how.
That's one of the things I love about my wife so much, is that she does understand so much about me. She understands that the way that I come off sometimes can be construed as flirtatiousness, because chivalry and conversation has kind of gone by the wayside in past years, and I'm pretty good at those things. But when you have, communication, you have friendship, you have understanding, you have a very high floor in your relationship.
I wish she understood that I wasn't judging. I mean, I wish that she understood that even that I'm trying. And I don't know that it's fair to say that she doesn't understand that, but sometimes it feels that way. And to a certain degree, I do wish that sometimes that she'd find a way to maybe listen more closely to what I'm trying to suggest might be a good way to deal with things. I think she feels like I'm trying too hard to impose myself or give her directions, and that's not really the intent, and I wish that she understood that better.
I wish my wife knew the level of attraction that I have to her. And that's on so many different levels. I have this immense amount of respect for her, how she gets over her obstacles and how she one of her obstacles being me sometimes, right? How she navigates through that. She knows when her perspective is needed over my perspective. I don't think that she understands that I treasure her or that I value her very highly for her being her. This is very therapeutic. Okay, this is very therapeutic. You're taking money away from my therapist.
Well, that's a wrap. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No,
It's still recording. It's not over with. I mean, if you're still recording, it's still...
How do you feel?
I feel fine. I mean, I have no idea what you're doing or how you're putting these things together. But yeah, I feel fine.
All right, quick and painless, right? That wasn't that bad.
Thank you. That was tough.
Fucking killed it.
The last couple were tough. Like, I just didn't know. Like,
You killed it.
I don't know. It's like she knows everything. Like, you know Madison. Like, she's so like in tune with everything that she just knows everything. Like, she knows what I'm thinking before I could even say it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's real love right there.